Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel for everything Arsenal and everything football. Thanks for being here. I hope you're all doing well. And welcome to the match reaction and player ratings for Arsenal's 4-1 defeat to Manchester City. Yep, another loss, another disappointing performance. I have African Guna with me. How are you?
I'm doing as well as an Arsenal fan can.
Yeah,
Disappointing
I
loss
can't blame you.
today, but yeah, of course, we expected it. I think the real fans, the realistic fans. I don't want to say real fans. The realistic fans really know that, Man City's B team is better than our A team, let alone our young team that we played out today. So expected a loss. Just expected a
Yeah,
little bit more fight, a little bit more quality. It seems that we're still playing with the same tactics, man, and that's something that I'm
yeah,
really getting frustrated with Arteta. Is that yes, I know that it's not all his fault because yes, the players are crap. But at the same
yeah,
time, he keeps playing the same formation, same tactics. I mean, we keep crossing the ball as if Giroud's there, man. And today, I mean, Lacazette scored from a header, but ultimately, like that is our only way we can score goals. And you have
yeah.
Kolasinac there, who can barely make a cross. So it's really disappointing to see that we keep playing with the same tactics, even though we keep losing every single game. It just doesn't make any sense, and that's why I can't back him anymore.
What were you thinking as soon as you saw Kolasinac and Mustafi in the team? Are you wondering why Pablo Mari isn't playing and why Mustafi is still playing?
Yeah, well, the first thing is definitely. I mean, I understood why Kolasinac was playing because you're gonna rest Tierney in this game. Um, but yeah, I mean, Pablo Mari, where is he? He played really good games in the Europa League, and then all of a sudden, out of the team. Where's Callum Chambers? He was
Yeah,
back in the team, and now he's not even on the bench. So I don't understand
yeah,
why we're playing one. Firstly, two players that are absolute crap, and we know they're crap because they've consistently made mistakes. We can see the first goal. That's all Mustafi. Gabriel comes right in front of him, bang, header, goal in the first 2 minutes. Game was pretty much over. Let's be honest. The goal that we scored was quite fluke, and I don't think many people were. I mean, I was definitely not expecting us to score that. It came out of the blue, right? So. The second point is why are we playing these defenders that are going to be leaving at the end of
exactly my
the
point.
season?
Players who don't
We
even
know
need to
that they're
give
leaving,
their all.
so it doesn't
Yeah,
make any sense. And then
yeah,
in
players who
terms of
don't even need to give their all.
yeah, of course. Why would they? I mean, they're going to play at 50%. They're not going to play at 100%. They're
Yeah,
not going to try and get injured because they know
yeah,
that they have no guarantees to be playing for Arsenal, and getting paid while they're recovering from an injury. So it just doesn't make
yeah,
any sense. And as we know, as I said, they're prone to errors, right? They're just not good enough. So these type of small decisions, especially when everything is going wrong for us and everything is downhill, it piles up the pressure. Making Holding captain last game, small decisions like this, they heap the pressure on a manager who's doing really, really
yeah,
badly because at the end of the day, it's all about the results. As long as we keep losing, people are going to continue to question. And I don't know about
yeah.
you, Glenn, but I mean, where's Saliba? He's not in the Premier League squad. I don't think he's even in the Europa League squad. So the League Cup, he should be able to play. And he's not even on the bench. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, he clearly should be playing ahead of Mustafi though, because these are players who are about to leave. If I know I'm going to leave a team next week, I'm not going to give my all. So why would I play you in a quarter final? In fact, so that was very disappointing to see those two. The likes of El Neni, we know they're still a living at Arsenal. So it was very disappointing the way we ended up losing the game, especially after a good first half. I'd say a good final 20 minutes. So let's get into the player ratings. Probably we're going to get some very low scores from African Gunners. So let's start. The first one is Runarsson, and I don't know what to say about him. He literally cost us the game.
You say low scores it's because I'm real, man. Like I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. If a player is crap, a player is
Yeah,
crap. I don't have any
yeah,
loyalty towards these players who haven't done anything. And for me, to be
yeah,
honest, I remember the last time I came on your channel, I was speaking about
yeah,
Runarsson, and I thought he was gonna be a good keeper and he was gonna be decent because what I had seen from him, and
yeah,
he was decent. He's never been this bad, but today he got exposed, man. That second goal that you can see right now. I mean, how does the keeper push that into his net? You push that above the goalpost, or you push that out for a corner, or even if you pushed it back into the box, for anything to happen. Ultimately, you're not supposed to do that as a keeper. But I think in this situation, it would have been better for him to even do that.
yeah. But what do you expect from someone you paid 1 million for? That's what you get. You get exactly what you pay
Of
for.
course,
He's not good
of
enough.
course.
So
I'm
obviously
giving
now,
him a
since
two.
we've seen what he has to offer, we can't afford to lose Leno again. We can't afford to lose Leno again in the Premier League. So you give him a
So what
two.
about Matt? What? Yeah, I'm giving him a two. But what about Matt Macy? Why is this guy not even getting a chance? I've never even seen him. I'm not saying that he's better, but I've never even seen him, so I can't even make a judgment because
I
he's not
mean, he
even
has been
getting.
here under he's been here under four managers and none of them has played him. So I don't know what the matter is. I thought he's going to be playing like at least one game. I've always screamed for him to play at least one game, but he's never played. So Runarsson gets a 2 for you. He'll probably get a 1 for me. He's been awful. And even the
Yeah,
third goal, why would you come out like
yeah.
that? So very, very terrible. Right wing back, Cedric.
I'm gonna give him a 5. I don't think that he was too
Mhm.
bad, but he wasn't great either.
Yeah.
It wasn't his best performance, but he wasn't bad. I'll give him a 5. I think that's fair.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think he wasn't that bad. Didn't really get himself into attacking positions, but yeah, that's just affects the whole team. Mustafi, still an Arsenal player.
I know, right? And it's not even like you just laugh because that's how painful. Like it
Yeah,
hurts so much you have to laugh it off as Arsenal fans because you just don't know what to say. It just doesn't make sense to
yeah,
any of us. But somehow these players consistently are still playing for us, and the whole world can
yeah,
see it. But apparently the manager and the board and the owners, right? So I'm giving him a 3. Just that first goal for me, just appalling. Just his tackling, his positioning. He's just such a bad player, man. And
yeah.
he did have
So
a
easy.
spell. Yeah, he had a spell under Arteta when he was playing decently, at the end of last season. But he's back to his usual self.
Yeah, before he got that injury in the semi-final in the FA Cup, he was doing well. But he
Yeah,
always, even if Mustafi kept 100 clean sheets in a row, I'd still expect him to make a mistake in the 101st game because that's just who he is. So not good
yeah,
enough. 3, maybe. Yeah, I agree with you. What about Gabriel? I didn't even want him to play today because I knew what he was gonna have around him.
yeah. And you also wanted to be fresh and fit for Chelsea, for the Chelsea game, which, by the way, on record, I don't think we're gonna win. But he definitely plays a pivotal role in the amount of goals that we will ship in that day. I think he's not the Gabriel that we've seen in the beginning of the season. Let's be honest. He's
Mm,
missing a lot of headers in the air. His passing is a bit sloppy. I think that he's trying very hard, and you can see that he's trying really
yeah,
hard because you can tell that he's one of those players that really cares and he feels that like we're losing every game and he must be thinking, you know what, like if these guys can't do it, let me see if I can try and make something happen, right? And he's that type of player, which you have to give him props for. But I'm giving him a 4 today. I don't think it's necessarily his fault. That third goal with Foden,
yeah,
that was offside. So, technically it was
yeah,
his fault. I mean, it was offside, right? So VAR is there.
yeah,
It's not counted as a goal. So I'm going to give him a
yeah.
4. And,
Yeah, when
sorry,
things are, yeah,
he has credit in the bank, right? He has credit in the
yeah.
bank. He's been playing really well. So even when he plays average or below average performances, you can't really get onto him too much because he's really been our savior sometimes this season.
Yeah, when things are not going your way, they don't go your way. That's why we didn't have VAR today. So when things are not going your way, they don't go your way. So Kolasinac is the next one.
I don't want to make this a biased rating because I hate the guy in general. I just don't think he's good enough. For 2-3 years,
Yeah,
I've really hated the guy, right? And a lot of the reasons I hate these players is because I know they're not good enough and they keep being shoved in
yeah,
my face. And that goes with Xhaka
yeah,
as well and Willock and all these guys. I mean, I know they're not good enough and they keep getting pushed into the team, which makes me hate them at a certain point because it's not their fault that they're in the team, but it's their fault that they're crap. So it gets really
yeah,
frustrating. I mean, not cross the ball. He takes like 3-4 touches. His intelligence. You can really tell the difference between Tierney and him, right? I'm gonna give him I would say a 3. I think that's fair. Just you know what to expect from him. Just absolute crap. You can't beat a man. He always turns backwards because he just doesn't have the quality to do anything,
yeah,
right? And when he does beat the man because of a through ball, where he doesn't actually have to beat the man, the ball beats the man for him. And because he's fast, that's the only thing that he has for him. He gets to the ball, but then he can't cross it. So just useless. I'm gonna give him a 3. I don't know if you think that's a
I
fair. Yeah.
I remember when he came, I think the Guendouzi season when Guendouzi was new in Torreira, Emery's first season. I remember Ozil used to have some very good passes to his wing and he used to cross them every time. He used to be an attacking threat, I'd say. And then all of a sudden, everything literally disappeared. I still wonder how he won the best left back in the league where Alaba is. I still wonder how.
Yeah.
So it's very terrible. I didn't see him making any mistake, major mistake today, but he doesn't really give anything. So I agree
Yeah,
with
but
you.
it's not
The
about
next,
making mistakes, right? You don't have to make mistakes, but you want to make an impact in the game, right? And and and,
yeah,
and as we know, our entire play comes from the left side.
left, yeah,
Whether it's
yeah,
Tierney or him, somehow for some reason, everything goes through
yeah,
the left side. Our goal even today, Martinelli, left side.
yeah.
So when someone is playing in a position where almost everything is going through you, you have to
Yeah,
be at least average. You need to make some sort of impact.
Yeah, true. So especially when we are depending on our fullbacks to provide the creativity, he has none of that. So I agree with you. The next one is Niles, left wing back. Did you feel like he did well today?
Yeah, I think I'm going to give him a 6. I think he was slightly above average. He doesn't
Yeah,
play in this position quite often. So, when he's put into the position, I kind of give him a little bit of a break because I know he's not playing consistently to understand the positioning and stuff. Even though he might be, doing it in training, it's very different when you're
yeah,
playing against Manchester City, right? So,
yeah,
yeah, I'm going to give him a 6. I didn't think that he was too bad. And he tries and stuff. I really feel bad for him. He obviously wanted to go to Wolves, and we stopped him from moving. And he's not even really getting into this team. And even when he does, he's playing with crap players around him. So I do feel bad for the guy.
if they came in January with 25 million, would you sell him?
If I was the owner, no, because I would want to play him because we
Yeah,
both know that, and I tell a lot of people we need 200, 300 million. People say
yeah,
money is not the answer. It is the answer. The reason that
yeah,
players cost a lot is because they are quality and they're
yeah,
experienced and they're ready made. That's why you pay so much for the best players, right? So
yeah,
ultimately, what's 25 million going to do for us, really? We're not going to replace 6, 7 players, and we really need to replace 6 or 7 players in our starting
yeah,
11. I'm not even talking about our bench. We need
yeah,
6 or 7 players to come straight into our starting 11, and Maitland-Niles
yeah.
can be, one of those players that we can get away with for another year or two. But as Maitland-Niles, I would want to leave, in January.
I do the same. I'd want to leave myself. So I agree with you. The next one is Ceballos. Did you see enough of him again? He's supposed to be a creative spark in the middle.
Absolute crap. Absolute crap. And
Mm-hmm.
I think worse than last season when he was crap. He was crap, then he became really good, and we were like, okay,
Yeah,
cool. Maybe 20 million, 25 million. Okay, maybe we can get away with that. He looks like
yeah,
a decent player that can do something for us. In the last 3, 4 games, man, he gives away ball. He can't make passes. In the last 2 games, he's been giving away at least 6, 7, 8 passes I've counted. Not
yeah,
even that he's passing it to the opposition. He passes it straight out of bounds. And
mm,
sometimes he makes really bad passes that puts our team under pressure, because that guy has to stretch to get to the ball. And if he doesn't get it, then, the Man City player gets it and it's a counter attack and we're in trouble, right?
yeah,
Not good enough, man. And I don't want to say that he's not good enough because I want him to be really good for us because ultimately we don't have anyone in midfield. But unfortunately, I'm giving him a 3. Not good enough for Arsenal. I'd send him back to Madrid. He won't even
yeah,
play for Madrid, really, but that's not our problem.
yeah.
He shouldn't be at Arsenal.
Not good enough. We have Chelsea next, and guess who will be back? Shaka will be back, and he's going to start in that game. That's the
Yeah,
worst
yeah.
thing about his red card. He's going to be back for that
The
game.
other thing I wanted to mention, Glenn, is that we played with Ceballos and El Neni against Everton, and look how that went. We were
Yeah,
shambolic. Apart from the
yeah,
last like 5, 10 minutes where we were desperate and we were trying, they were crap. So
yeah,
why did we play El Neni and Ceballos again today? It just doesn't make any sense. You
yeah,
lost with those 2 players in your midfield, and you're going to try again. And that's my problem with Arteta. Yes, again we go back to it's not totally his fault because the players are crap. But if the manager keeps putting the same players that are crap and that everyone can
yeah,
tell is not working, then it's his fault too.
yeah. Is it a case of not having anyone else to put in the middle, though? Literally,
Smith
Partey's not there,
Rowe.
Shaka's
Why,
not there.
why isn't Smith Rowe? Why didn't Smith Rowe play? We can play Maitland
Hmm.
Niles in the midfield. There's other options, man. We could have played David Luiz, as a center
Yeah, in the
defensive mid.
middle.
No one talks about
Yeah,
this. We used
we've
to
never
talk about
tried
it,
him there. Yeah,
but it's been about 6 months where no one's talking about it. I'd play Partey and David Luiz and play Ozil. Imagine those. Imagine that three. Those
yeah,
two like center defensive mids with
yeah,
Ozil in front. That's what
yeah,
we've been crying out for. And I'm not saying that it's going to work, right? But we need to try all these things because
yeah.
ultimately
Right
everything
now,
we're
we're
trying is not
desperate.
working. Yeah, we're desperate.
Yeah, the next one is El Neni. El Neni, they call him El Sideways, no creativity. In the Europa League, he tries some things, he shoots the ball, and then when it comes to the league and a big game like this, he disappears. What did you give him?
ultimately ultimately again not good enough, right? He had a spell, and when he came, especially that game against United, he ran his socks off. I haven't seen a player run that hard. I remember in the 90th minute he was still closing down, and I was like, oh my god, this is a brand new player, as Arsene
Yeah,
Wenger would love to say, he's like a new signing. And he
yeah,
was for about 3, 4 weeks, but now he's
yeah,
back to his usual self, and I don't know if that's because he's not playing against Partey, who's world-class midfielder and made him just his job easier and made him just look better naturally. And now
yeah,
he's back to playing with Xhaka and Ceballos, and he's back to being, an average player. I'm going to give him a 4. I don't think that he did anything wrong, but he didn't do anything good either. You're
yeah,
expecting our midfielders to do something, drive the ball. I see that he keeps going in between the defenders and he gets the ball, but he doesn't progress with it. He takes maybe one or two, steps forward, and then he goes left or right, or he goes backwards. He doesn't like beat the player, make a through ball pass to Pepe or Martinelli or whoever's on the wing, and then we're all of a sudden we're on the counter attack. We're too slow, right? We are way too slow.
Yeah.
And part of the reason is because our midfielders take too long on the ball. And then he's part of that. Not good enough, man.
Awesome. How about Willock? I thought he was a bit of a positive today.
7. I give him.
7.
Okay. So yeah, I would say 6.57, but I'll give him a 7. I think that he was really, really good, man. His passes are crisp today. He was trying, he was running. And that's what I love about Wood. Like sometimes I feel like he holds onto the ball a bit too much. He beats one guy, he beats the next guy, and you're like, okay, release the pass, because we're open at that point. He makes that pass. We're on a 3v2, and then he holds it, and then he gets tackled or fouled. So he needs to improve that on his game. But ultimately today, I think he was one of the best players for us. I'm going to give him a 7.
Yeah.
And
his decision making.
Yeah, exactly, decision making, right? And he doesn't play like this in the Premier League for some reason. He plays like this in the Europa League. He played like this today, but when it comes to the Premier League, it's a different player. So yeah, no, I'm going to give him 7 today. I think he did well.
I agree with that. He was quite good. And then another positive, Martinelli, very, very gutted that he got injured again. I hope it's not serious because he already could see the difference he was making, and then he's injured again within 40 minutes.
Well, for all your viewers and for you, Glenn, Martinelli is my favorite player at Arsenal. I mean, in terms of young players, apart from the Aubameyang, I put Martinelli for me above Pepe. That's how much I love him. I really think this kid is going to be a superstar in the future, and he contributed to the goal. You can see that he's just such a good all-round player, right? And this is because he's a five-a-side player. He's a futsal player from Brazil where he plays indoor soccer, and he got scouted and they realized this kid has a lot of talent. Let's take this kid and put him on a 11-a-side field, and that's why you see so much from Martinelli. It's because he's actually a futsal player. He's not an 11v11 player. He's naturally a 5v5 player where he's skillful, he's direct, he beats the man, because in indoor soccer the pitch is very small. You dribble 2-3 guys and you take a shot and you score. So he's very used to doing that, and that's why I love so much about him. I was really gutted. I wanted to go fly over and break the Man City's keeper's nose because he touched my boy. Like, how dare you touch Martinelli? I was really, really upset because obviously he's just come back, had an assist, and then the goal. That was a red card, by the way. If there's VAR, that's a red card, man. He literally didn't even touch the ball. He took him out.
Yeah.
So,
no free kick, no yellow card, no nothing.
Nothing. Yeah, I'm gonna give him a 7. Hopefully he's not injured and he can come back and play against Chelsea, because we know the last time what happened when he played against Chelsea. So
I think I'm actually going to give him an 8. I thought he was our best player within 40 minutes. He crossed the ball twice, very good crossing. And as you say, the South American boy, and he also has that South American fight, the Carlos Tevez, Luis Suarez, Aguero kind of fight. So definitely love him. I really hope he's not seriously injured. So 8 for Martinelli for me.
Yeah, I would have given him an 8 if he played the whole game, but I feel like because he only played 50 minutes, I think I would give it. Okay, I'll move it up to 7.5. Awesome. Ultimately, him and Will were the best players on the pitch. Lacazette was good as well. I don't think he was as good as Martinelli and Willock, but I think I'm gonna give him a 6.5. He was really good. He scored the goal.
Good finish,
Yeah, good finish. Exactly. It was a hard header actually, because of he had to bend his neck. It wasn't just a straightforward net, like a header. He had to actually move his body to connect, and it made a perfect connection. Top left corner. Keeper couldn't do anything about it. He was the captain today, and he was fighting. I think that he's running and he's trying. And when we go 2-1, 3-1 down, he can kind of give up and stop trying, but he didn't. So I'm proud of him. And he just needs to keep this up. I don't think that he's good enough. Moving forward, we need a new striker in the next year. But for now, let's try and use him as much as possible. And we want to increase his value ultimately, because he has one season left. I don't want a situation where he says he doesn't want to move and he's just going to sit on his bum again next year, and we're going to have the same situation that we have with almost every single player, that they're just sitting here and they get paid. Socrates, he's getting paid to do nothing. He's just training, and Ozil as well. And for a poor team like Arsenal that can't spend money, we seem to be quite rich to have all these players just sitting £7 million that is not even in the team, man. It's just, I don't even know what to say about that. Yeah, it's
well, let's
poor.
get into the bench. The next one is Pepe, came from the bench, but this is another player that I really feel doesn't do enough. People say they want him to playing ahead of Willian. I think they're on the same level right now. I'm sorry. What did you make of him, his performance? He always shoots off target. What's that all about? Always shoots off target when he has the chance.
You stole the words out of my mouth, because I've been saying this for months. When people say Willian's Arteta's love child and all this stuff, I tell them, really, there isn't any difference. The only difference is that Willian is experienced and he runs harder. For me, and I know he's been bad, but I mean, I would trust Willian much more than I trust Pepe. Because Pepe can do the flary stuff where he'll not make a guy, but then he'll completely miscue the cross and it'll go straight out. Or, as you said, I mean, a lot of his shots are not even on target. Not even on target.
Every time.
And it's frustrating, man, because this is supposed to be your superstar, your big signing, and the guy can't even do anything for us. I'm giving him.
You're giving
Go
him?
ahead. I'm going to give him a 5.5. Like, I'm giving an extra 0.5 because he brings a little bit of drive, but ultimately the game was lost when he came on, like, it's also not his fault.
We are supposed to be like, when Martinelli gets injured and he goes off, you're supposed to be like, well, Martinelli is injured, we hope he's okay, but well, Pepe is coming on, let's see what he can do. We're excited to see Pepe, but it's like, Pepe is coming on for Martinelli.
Yeah,
it's opposite. Like, our hope dies when Pepe is coming on for Martinelli. That shows you something.
So to be quite honest, for me, there's a little bit of excitement, and as soon for the first 2 minutes he touches the ball, he dribbles himself out of play, or he loses the ball, then I'm like, I remember, I want to keep giving him chances, but it just doesn't prove it to us, man. And you can't blindly support one, Arsenal, or two, any player if they don't give you that hope. You cannot say Arsenal was going to beat Man City unless we've been having signs that we were going to be able to score, that we would be able to defend. If you don't have all that, you can't say that Arsenal's going to win. You can't say Pepe is going to be great today when he hasn't been great for many, many weeks. There's no proven history. Whereas maybe Aubameyang, you could say, yeah, this guy scores 20 plus goals every season. It'll be a time where he starts scoring again, But the rest of the players, no credit in the bank, man.
The next one is Smith Rowe.
I'm going to give him, I want to give him more than a 5, but I'm going to give him a 5 because I don't think he had enough time. But you can tell, man. I mean, I don't understand why this kid is not getting more playing time. He's so much better than most of our midfielders. I would even go as far to say that he's better than Pepe when he plays in the wing, because he actually has real input and real output. He actually gets crosses in. He actually, makes through passes. Like, Pepe doesn't do any of that. So whether you play Smith Rowe on the wing or you play him in the midfield as an attacking midfielder, he's always running. He's always trying to make something happen. And ultimately, if I was Smith Rowe, I like Balogun. All these kids, Martinelli, man, they're going to leave us because they're not getting enough game time. And two, the team is so bad that ultimately, they're not going to sit here waiting like ducks when other teams are going to be calling for them and saying, listen, we're going to play you. Even a Manchester United will come and poach a Martinelli from us and say, listen, we'll give you game time. We're on the up. We're third in the league. We're in the Champions League. I mean, I know they're in the Europa League, but I mean, next season we'll be in the Champions League. So, we're going to lose a lot of our talent if we don't play them. And that's my point about Smith Rowe. He needs to get some playing time, man. He was injured. We're lacking creativity. And this kid is a creative midfielder. It just doesn't make any sense. What is Arteta seeing in training that we aren't seeing? Because on the pitch, we can see what he brings to the team.
Yeah. What did you give him for today?
I'm going to give him a 5. I mean, he was on for like 20 minutes, not even like 15 minutes. I'm going to give him a 5 as well. I don't want to give him a 5. I want to give them more, but I think it's not fair enough because they didn't have enough game time. But I think, okay, Balogun, I'll give him a 6 because he ran and I saw him pressing. Even we were losing 4-1 and the kid is pressing. He still wanted to prove a point because obviously he knows how hard it is for him to get any game time, regardless of how many goals he scores and how many assists. And this is kind of the same issue we had with Martinelli before he got injured. He was scoring when Aubameyang got a red card. He came in the team, he was scoring. He never got into the team. And we have the same issue now with Balogun, who is playing really well. We're struggling, and you still want to play Nketiah over him, most of the time. So I'm going to give him a 6. I think he tried, but ultimately, what was he going to do, man? 4-1 down, you chuck him on. He's not going to do anything.
Yeah, what I say with these youngsters, I don't want these youngsters to come on when we are losing 4-1. I want them to come on when you're winning 3-1, some confidence, not when you're throwing them 100%. Like when you're losing 5-1. Like if you concede 2 more goals, it feels like it's part of that problem. I don't want them to feel like that. So Arteta is the
And you
last
know
one.
what?
What did you give Arteta for today? Yeah.
Yeah, and before I get to that, Glenn, on that point, that's something I want to give kudos to Wenger, because Wenger used to do that a lot, man. We used to be winning games and used to give kids their opportunities. Now we
Yeah.
are so bad, it doesn't even matter who we're playing in the Premier League. It doesn't matter who we're playing in the Europa League. Every team is competitive because we are so bad. We're competing against the lowest teams, so we can't even give our youngsters opportunities because we're never. When's the last time we even scored 2 goals at home? I can't even remember, dude.
I can't remember. Can't remember. When was the last time we scored 2 goals?
Last time we scored 2 goals was against Fulham in the league, but ultimately I'm going to give Arteta a 2. I think he's not good enough to be our Arsenal manager. I mean, he may be good enough in the future and he might be successful, but right now definitely not what we need. I mean, I don't know if you've seen Glenn, the stuff that he's been coming out with in the press,
the
and then
basketball
post-match,
stuff and all
pre-match
that.
conference. I mean, some stuff about the stats, and
Mm.
and even about how football is different to basketball. No crap. We all know there's 2 different freaking sports. So why is he speaking gibberish? He's clearly out of his depth. I backed him for as long as I could, but ultimately, and I admit it's not only his fault, right? But we are not going to change our entire starting 11 before we change our manager. We know that's not happening. So we need to change our manager first and get a bounce and get us to start winning, because we're going to lose against Chelsea. And I see us drawing against Brighton. I don't even think we're going to beat Brighton. I think we'll get a draw against Brighton. So I don't see when we're improving. So why are we waiting to pull this plug? The body is dead. Pull out the plug, cut the cord. Let's start again fresh, because right now there's nothing happening for us. I don't know how you feel, but as I said, we're playing the same tactics. We keep losing and we keep playing the same. It doesn't make any sense. If you're losing, that obviously means there's something wrong with the tactics, and we don't have any other tactic because we can't play through the middle. We don't have the players, so we only play through the wings. I mean, you need to be working on training and stuff. We've played soccer at a certain level, and even at a small low level, under 18s, under 16s, you're practicing and training with cones and stuff, how to break down a team through the middle. I don't understand how we're not focusing 3-4 trainings on how to play a different game that is not just playing on the wings and crossing in the ball and hoping someone's going to score, especially when we don't have guys who can score headers. I know Lacazette scored today, but I mean, that's 1 in 5-6 games that he's going to score that. So it's really frustrating. I can't back him anymore, man. As an Arsenal fan, it really hurts for us to keep losing. And as much as I would love for him to do well, I can't watch this as an Arsenal fan, and I can't agree and sit here and not do anything or complain, because my team is losing every single game. We've been losing for I think it's been over a month. We've been losing or drawing. I mean, it's really bad.
I've looked at the results. Like the last 13 games, I think we've won like 1. And if it wasn't for the Europa League, I think we would have gone like 3 months without winning an actual game. That's how bad it
I'm not
is.
even considering the Europa League, because we got the easiest group that we've ever gotten under any manager, with any squad. So we should have won every single one of those games. But other than that,
awesome.
And even if we won today, in the next game in the semifinals, I think we would have lost anyways. I wouldn't have had confidence. So I'd rather go out again.
It would have been a good thing to get to Wembley, because this season's semi-final Carabao Cup is at Wembley, so it would have been a good thing. So, quick prediction for Chelsea Arsenal before we end it.
3-0 Chelsea. 3-0 Chelsea.
Wow.
3-0 Chelsea. Maybe even more. Maybe a 4-1. Maybe we get a sneaky goal. However, we cannot create. We cannot score. Like today we scored. Okay, cool. But I mean, we know we cannot make chances. Chelsea's going to dominate, the ball completely. They're going to have chances. Leno's going to make good saves. You heard it here first. Leno's going to make good saves, but ultimately he's not going to be able to stop everything. And there's going to be a goal. And fans are going to come to us and say, Ziyech, and Pulisic and all these guys are going to rub it in our face, and gladly, because if Pepe and Martinelli and Aubameyang were scoring goals against Chelsea, we would do exactly the same thing. So I can't blame them. But
I know we don't care about the rest of the competition, but just a quick prediction: do you think Everton and United, which one will win?
Sorry, do I think Everton and United are going to what?
Which one is going to win the quarterfinal match tomorrow?
Manchester United, man, too good.
Stoke,
Tottenham. All the big teams will
win the
make
competition.
It final. I think Man City is going to win. I think Man City, Tottenham, or Man City, Man United final, and Man City will win.
Awesome, and thank you for coming on, man, and thank you for watching, everyone. Keep staying safe. We are out of the Carabao Cup. Let's hope we get back to winning ways against Chelsea. Hopefully, they just got 3 goals last night. So thank you for watching. Keep staying safe, and I'll catch up with you guys later.